What's up, everyone, and thank you for joining me for this special edition of the Blu+YouPodcast, where I'm chopping it up with the average man Unplugged. But before we jump in, check out this quick ad, and I'll be back in a flash. Are you looking for an online store with unconventional options? Well, look no further than Thread Market Z. Thread Market Z is an online merch store delivering a little of everything, from tees to party shades to bumper stickers and even hats like the Clementine D trucker hat for cosplayers. Use the link in the description to browse the merch, which also supports this podcast, and I thank you in advance for your support. Now back to the show. This episode is also being brought to you today by Passport Poppy. Passport Poppy is a merch shop that represents the world traveler in you. Whether you're exploring the world solo or with family and friends, Passport Poppy has gear that inspires you to make your travels as memorable as possible. Check out the link below that supports this podcast, and thank you in advance for your support. Happy travels. What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Blu+YouPodcast. And for this episode, I have none other than the average man Unplugged. Definitely welcome to the show. It's an honor to have you here.
All right, man. I appreciate you for having me on.
So before we jump in, what was your motivation to start a YouTube channel?
Well, what originally started is I found the red pill space, and then I was actually watching Donovan Sharp's it's I forgot, it's called the CME Conference of Masculine Excellence, and
okay.
I was just watching it, and I was just really like motivated by the speeches that were going on at the moment, and I don't know what made me do it, man, but I just literally just picked up my phone and just started recording, and it just kind of went from there.
That's pretty cool. It sounds like you found the right inspiration to go ahead and get the ball rolling, because you know everyone has their own experience, and you wanted to provide your own experience as far as to listeners that would more so connect with you. Because like I'm not familiar with Donovan Sharp, but let's say someone might be familiar with him, but they more so relate to you. So that's pretty cool that you found motivation in that, and then you might even motivate someone else to, move forward with their own channel. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've had quite a few people reach out to me and said that I've motivated them to start their own channel. So I think that's pretty dope, man. Like just having that kind of positive impact on people, man. It's like, it's definitely brought a smile to my face, and like it just makes me want to grind even harder, because it's like, if just me just believing in myself and betting on myself motivates other people to do the same thing, then you know what I mean, I think I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? So
very true.
I think that's dope.
And I think it's also a perfect opportunity for more men to actually be able to, speak more often. Like a lot of the time we're working and we only speak to people that we might be working with, versus others that might have similar thoughts and feelings about situations. It's like, being able to actually chop it up about those situations. I think that's awesome, especially with the way the space is blossoming. Yes.
I agree. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's really just glorified barbershop talk. That's all it really is. I'm like, when it really comes down to it, you know what I mean? It's like it's like you going to the bar, just chopping it up with the bros, or just catching up or something. You know what I mean? But
right.
But at the same, the one thing I definitely look at this space as a community, and a community that I'm happy to be a part of, and I definitely see it, like you said, blossoming into something big. Like it's definitely trajecting in the right direction. I will say that.
And I definitely have to say that times two for your channel, because you're taking off, which, you know, my hat's off to you for the people who need to hear, you know, certain messages. I know that, you know, everyone's not going to agree with every message, but for the message that someone needs to hear as far as making a positive breakthrough in their life, I definitely you know, salute you for that. I'm on the side of also like leveling up and just taking a step back, reevaluate, you know, what you're doing in your life, so that you can take a better approach and actually elevate. Like we don't have as much time on this earth. Like no one can predict when, you know, it's time to go, but if you don't make better use of that time, it's going to go to waste. And just looking at, you know, some of the messages, it's like some people might feel like all the messages that you say, they're battering women, specifically Black women. But it's like, if you take a step back and just you know, take the emotion out of it and just truly listen, think about the message that's truly being put out there. These could be men that are trying to approach Black women, and a lot have, but it's just certain things that are being done. It's like ears are covered while walking towards a cliff. It's kind of like no, you know, stop, wait, you know, turn around, give that a second thought. Like, no, I'm not gonna listen to that. And then here come the kids, and here come by someone, like, let's say they've been locked up, or they just have a certain reputation in the street, kind of like I'm pretty sure you understand, like you know, like you can love someone or can be real cool with them, but they just have so much heat on them in the street, but you can't be around them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like a woman getting with a man like that, having kids, and then wanting someone else to turn around and I need someone to help me. I need someone to be able to I know some women don't like hearing the word save, but I need someone to really help me out, you know, financially and stuff. No one's gonna put themselves in that position, and then, like, let's say that guy's kids, like, they bump heads with that guy, and then what? Then he's gonna turn around and do what to this guy? Right. Like, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, see, on my channel, I call them safety nets, and this is one thing. This is one thing that I preach a lot to guys to try to avoid at all costs, because I know what it's like dealing with a single mom. That's probably, like, I want to say when I very first started the channel, that was probably like my second or third video that I ever did, because I knew that was a really big problem in the community.
Right.
And you know, I mean, we have more black male childless men than we have we have more black men that are childless than we do black women. You know what I mean? So that right there, that right there tells you everything you need to know. So right. What I'm trying to express to that other 50-something% of black males that are childless, that, you know what I mean, expand your options and try your best to avoid the single moms, because there's really no there's really no benefit for you. I mean, because the incentive of long-term relationships, I mean, it seems so marginal nowadays. It's like the last thing you want to do is try to involve somebody else's child too. You know what I mean? That's just going to make things even more of an uphill battle. And I think just,
yeah.
And I stress mental health so much, and I'm just kind of like, dude, the last thing you need to do is add even more stress to a situation that you don't need to. If you can avoid that, Date women without children, please. That's what I advise. Highly.
I'm in the same boat as you in that situation, and I've spoken about it in prior installments, which I'm like I said, I'm new to YouTube, but prior installments of the podcast, it's like I don't advise it because I'd rather a good black man get with and this isn't to say that a woman with kids is a bad person. That's not everyone, of course, but why not start fresh so that you can give that dedicated time to your child and that love and support. If you split up with a single mother, the love and support that you gave those kids, I mean, you won't be able to see those kids again because those aren't your children. Versus your child, at least you will be able to have custody if no games are played. But yeah, you're definitely in a better situation with your own children, whether hopefully you can maintain that relationship, but we don't know how that's going to go. But if things split up, that's still your child, and you can still make a positive impact on your child's life.
Exactly. I agree with that. Yeah, that's a valid point. I never really thought about it that way. Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
And then, like looking at these situations, it's kind of like the guy that I was mentioning to you, which his full name is actually your name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just seeing him go into that situation. It's like, man, he saw what the situation was when in terms of getting with this woman. She had, and you can't determine what type of woman, a woman is as far as how many kids she had, but you see all those kids, you see how she's moving. A few and sexual encounters later, now you're moving her into your place, which was a beautiful place. Him and his roommate. It's like why move her in and mess up your situation where I mean he was doing great. Move her in and just everything just went downhill. I'm not sure. It almost seemed like a blink of an eye. And then here comes the father of some of her kids, literally beats him up. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this part to you. I may have hit it off because it's some of the listeners would know who I'm talking about, but he made him sleep on his own couch while he was sleeping with her in his bed. But tell me that isn't crazy. I'm just looking at him like,
hey, I wasn't ready for that, bro. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah. And yet, you couldn't hide the knot that was on his head. Like,
this man. Do you mind if I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this on your podcast, man? But you mean it to this? So are you telling me this man got in his own place? In his.
And he was and unfortunately he locked himself. Granted, he didn't have to necessarily let that go down because there's no way. But just he had a baby with her, and so that locked him in. But just to have that situation, I'm like, there's no way that you could let a guy get out, beat you down like that, and then have you sleeping on your own couch while like the couch was right there, the bedroom door was right there. They're in there getting it on, and he's laying on his own couch, knowing that's going down. Which eventually he lost his job, and like he ended up in a situation because of course he had his child support, and then kind of went to couch surfing, but last time I saw him, which it was a while ago, but he was homeless. And so it went from that to just his life got turned upside down, just completely destroyed by getting with one person. And I can't say that every woman with children are like, they aren't going to do that. Like, it's not going to be the exact same thing, but we don't know who's who. But to see certain things happening and just completely ignore all of that, it's like that's foolish. And now, like, look at your life.
Bro, I'm speechless. I can't believe that.
And
oh my God, man.
And no one could tell him anything. So to go from having all those warning signs to look where you are, and he just looked bad last time I saw him.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've been in some bad situations, but nothing to that degree. That's a whole nother level. Like I've had women disrespect me in front of me, like, but not to that level. Oh my God, that right there. I'm like, ooh, man.
Yeah, it was, and it's like, well, what can you say? And it's kind of like one of those situations where it's like, okay, it's like, if you don't want to listen to reason, and people are dang near about to fight you because you aren't listening to reason, it's like, I'm not gonna put any more energy into this. Whatever's gonna happen is what's gonna happen, and that happened.
You said last time you saw me was homeless.
Yeah. Went from surfing couches to ended up on the street. I'm like, man. And he was just to see some.